Good morning and welcome to a new segment of Life University's Life Church. And this is your host, the Rev Dr Palmer Wallace. So here we are, the end of a week and the beginning of a new. I'm not sure where you are in the world listening to this segment today, but for the most, there has been a time of panic and a time of fears. I'm not sure when there has been, in our generation, such fear in the atmosphere. This message comes today to remind you to fear not, to allow your heart to break through into peace. We have a choice. We cannot sometimes control what is happening outside of us. It's liable to change at any moment. But there is something that you and I can be certain of. It's our internal world, where you set your focus. Because where you set your focus is what will produce for you. What have you been focusing on? If you have been watching the news non-stop, that is what your focus is, and that is what your focus will provide for you, because you would have been listening daily, second, minutely update on the virus and what it's doing. And so your world is now virus and what it is doing. But we have been given a soul. We are a soul. That's what we are at the very root of ourselves. We are soul. It was written in scripture, in all scriptures, whatever tradition you're coming from, you would have learned that man was created a living soul. And over the years, we have now looked to ourselves as not a living soul, but as living matter, so that we are more careful about the body, preserving the body. How many hours, how many even minutes have you thought about the breath that breathes you during the day? Not very much, huh? We have gone on, we've worried, washing our hands, you know, buying our loo rolls, buying our food, getting in our water, very careful that we are going to preserve the body without remembering that without the breath, that's basically what we want to preserve, isn't it? We want to be alive, and we want to not just be alive, we want to be alive and well. So the wellness is the matter of the soul. And as we become aware of our soul, the life that lives us, yes, you can call it God, call that life God, call that center within your innermost being, the Christ, in that place, the Godhead. There is liberty, there is freedom, there is health. No sickness is there, actually, on the soul, and your awareness of it. And as you are aware, continually aware of the goodness in your soul, goodness as your soul, God as the goodness in your soul, as you're aware of this, what happens is you have now broken through all this, the walls and all that stuff that that we've built up over the years to just confine it to the matter, so that now when it seems like everything is closing down, closing us in, it's telling us as well, in our media, that we need to distance ourselves. So more than ever, people are now going to feel isolated. They're telling us that there's going to be less food and toilet rolls and such the like on your shelves. And so there's a heightened sense of fear. And all of that is pulling us to look outside. Yes, pulling us to look outside, closing us in and causing our eyes to look outside. But I am asking us to take a look inside, to take a look at the internal, the true life that is you, the true life of the one that lives you, the true life of your soul. Because God hasn't shrunk by what is going on around in the world. The love and power of God is not dwindled because of some virus. The power and the liberty of life is just as strong. So what do I need to do in this time to secure myself to be safe? First, I said in my last segment, is to fear not, is to affirm truthfully in the knowing I am well. If you could hold that truth, I am well. If you went to a doctor for some ailment, and they give you a diagnosis, a prognosis, and then they gave you, a prescription to take this over such and such a days, take it in such and such times per day, and by the end of that period, you should be all right. Then you would do that, wouldn't you? You would take it 3 times a day or 7 times a day, whatever they prescribe, and you would almost guarantee, you would be guaranteed, you would trust the doctor to say that these measures will actually create a sense of wellness. In the same way, using that statement, I am well, creates within your immune system a charge, a vibrational charge, connecting you to the source of life, to the source of health, to the source of wellness. And as you become very aware in saying that, not just saying it from your mouth as in a repetition, although saying it does help a little, but actually feeling it. So you say it and you feel into, I am well. What does it feel like to be well? And you hold that vibration, you hold that truth, and you do it regularly so that it becomes like your prescription for life, your prescription for health. So now you're broken through, okay? You're broken through the walls that is holding you in, and you are broken out into the truth that I am well. Because your soul is well. Your soul is always well. But it is for our conscious awareness to recognize that truth. Are you recognizing that truth today? Can you say, I am well, and feel into it? I am well. Can you say, it is well? As you develop this principle of saying, I am well, periodically throughout the day, I would say 7 times. Do you know that's again limiting yourself to a number? Just periodically throughout the day, with a grateful heart, I am well. You set a precedent in the universe. You set a precedent over your body. You set a precedent over your mind. You set a precedent in your soul to receive the bounties, the grace, the fullness of wellness. That is what I wish for each and every one of us this coming week, that our experience will be wellness. This is your life host, the Rev Dr Palmer, wishing you a very well week ahead.